Hi, my name is Nick Schell. I am a certified Enneagram coach, and I'm very passionate and very excited to share with you that I no longer suffer from anxiety. And it's not because I'm on some kind of medication now. Granted, my anxiety got so intense, so dark, so deep, that it got to a point where I thought, am I gonna have to check myself into a hospital here? It got that bad. 85 days ago, and it's been 85 days ago that I reached my rock bottom of anxiety. And I can tell you very quickly, I was able to overturn that anxiety. To be clear, I've dealt with anxiety for about 7 years. And now it's all gone. And therefore, I am very eager to help anyone watching this video. Hopefully you can find peace and serenity from your anxiety as well. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. This is what worked for me. Not here to say it's to work for everybody, but maybe I can say something in this video that will help you as far as making your anxiety go away. Because I promise you, mine went from like about as bad as anxiety can get without being on medication to now zero anxiety and still not on medication. So here we go. This is how I did it. I'm not against medication if that's what you need to do for you. I'm just saying for me, I was able to overcome it without ever being on any kind of medication to treat my anxiety. So this is how I personally did it. I'm not a doctor, no medical advice here. I'm just telling a personal testimony about my life. So here we go. And I wrote it down to make sure that I didn't miss anything here. So this is the formula how I ultimately cured my own anxiety. And again, we're talking about like 7 solid years of this stuff. So 85 days ago, I was at that rock bottom. I was thinking, do I need to check myself into a hospital? This is so bad. Because for me, it's not that I was suicidal, as I was completely nihilistic. I was at this point where I'm like, what's the point of life? Not in a suicidal way, but like, what is the point of life? Is there any meaning to life? Like, we all die in the end and that's it. So what's the point? So it's a different concept. It was nihilism that I was falling very deeply into. So I pulled out my phone in this moment of desperation and just living in terror, internal terror. Pulled out my phone and I Googled, how to cure anxiety. And then the first thing that I pulled up was eliminating caffeine. And then from there it mentioned alcohol and tobacco and some other things, which we'll get into that. But the first thing was caffeine. Now, to put it in perspective, right off camera there, I have a very fancy espresso machine. My wife really likes coffee. I work from home. The kitchen table is right here next to me, and the espresso machine is right there on the other side of me. So over years, I've been drinking more and more caffeine and building a higher tolerance for it in theory. So I was up to 4 servings of caffeine a day, which isn't too excessive, but it was enough for me personally. I guess I'm very sensitive to caffeine, and I didn't realize I already have an intense personality. So when we're adding caffeine onto that, my research has led me to believe that caffeine actually can cause stress. What I've researched is that more than 2 servings of caffeine in a day for certain people can lead for certain people to have more of the stress hormone cortisol to be released. So therefore, just by drinking more than 2 cups of coffee, which I was doing 4, I was already more stressed out just from drinking coffee. Now, granted, it's strange because caffeine also causes dopamine, so it can make you feel good. But for me, more than 2 cups would make me very stressed out, and that stress was actually leading to anxiety. And now I understand that. Now, while I was at it though, I thought, okay, what if I just cut out all caffeine? Now granted, would I be okay with 1 or 2 servings? Maybe. But now that I live in zero anxiety, I don't even want to open that door anymore. But that same day, 85 days ago, I thought, well, while I'm at it, why don't I just cut out all alcohol? Now, to be clear, I don't suppose I've ever been drunk. I don't suppose I've ever had a hangover. But I was someone who had a drink or 2 every day, and that was normal for me. So I thought, why don't I just cut out all alcohol along with the caffeine? Same day, did that. And then from there, I've already been living a keto lifestyle already, but I got even more strict about it as far as my keto lifestyle and, you know, making sure that I'm not having processed sugar. So now I'll have like an avocado a day, a sweet potato a day, a cup of frozen fruit a day, but it's still under 50 grams a day. So I'm not getting processed sugar, but I'm still getting fiber and I'm still getting some healthy carbs. So I've become more strict about my diet as well, and I know that's part of it. Now, in addition to that, I think it's important that I cut out caffeine, I cut out alcohol, I cut out tobacco too. Now, granted, I would occasionally smoke a cigar on the back porch. I cut that out too, because when my anxiety was at its worst, that was the only thing that would ever give me relief. But it probably was adding to more anxiety. It cured me while at the same time making it worse. So I would occasionally do that. I've cut that out. And then I mentioned carbs. And then another thing is not scrolling. You know, scrolling on your phone causes anxiety. You're looking for something to make you happy. You're looking for this dopamine hit that often doesn't come, or even when it does, it makes you addicted. So it's hard to not be stressed in that situation, even if it seems fun or passive. So for me, I cut out all of those things. Like I was already better at cutting out scrolling and carbs and stuff, but specifically at the caffeine more than anything, it helped me. Now, also, I'm someone who 5 days a week at least, I go on an hour-long walk. And that's a good way for me to start the day. And then 3 days a week, I do weight training at the gym. So not only is it that I'm cutting certain things out of my life that would normally cause a dopamine hit, but then I'm having to work for the dopamine hits that I get from my hour-long walk, that often have a backpack with 25 pounds on it, or I'm pushing my daughter in a stroller. I've got some kind of resistance walking. And then when I'm at the gym, I'm making it hard on myself. I'm making myself stronger, but ultimately I'm getting a dopamine hit the hard way instead of the easy way that you can get from caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, processed carbohydrates, and scrolling. And then in addition to that, I've also made sure that I'm getting enough rest. I've had conversations with my family like, hey, I need uninterrupted sleep. If you wake up before me, shut the door, and allow me to have that sleep. So I'm getting more rest, but I'm also getting more exercise. I'm getting less unearned dopamine, as I like to put it, and my anxiety is gone. I'm 85 days into this. Now granted, how long did it take me? I'd say it took me about a week for me to think, okay, yeah, the anxiety really is gone. And then after a month, I'm like, oh yeah, it really is gone. And so now I'm closer to nearly 3 months, and it is gone. So I thought I was an Enneagram 6 for so long, but an Enneagram 9 when stressed acts and looks and feels like a 6. So that's kind of what helped me learn that I'm actually an Enneagram 9. Just I was really stressed out. So that's what worked for me. I would love to hear from you in the comments below.